auditório está quase a encher, pá.
We, yes, we do, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. Yes, yeah, 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 yeah. No, 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 no. Vai. Ai!
Why do people always avoid these two seats or the closest to the speaker? So a bit of awkward moment. Here are more seats. Should I start? Yes. Okay. Hi. Thank you all for being residents in Zaratan for 8 weeks now. And today I'm going to talk a bit about my practice. As you can see this photo behind the title, it's also the photo for the poster. And I'm sure no one can read the sentences on it, so I will read a little bit. So the sentence is there. Says, we walked through the sun-kissed rain as a rainbow shone bright over the sky. And the sentence below is, they fought for liberty, as this would grant them the peace and tranquility in their eyes. And I chose this photo as the cover photo because I feel that it pretty much sums up my practice in the last 2 years. Why is everyone so serious? So it's a project called V&A. It's actually very simple. So I brought 3 notebooks. As you can see, 3 notebooks. And I walk in the street in London and ask people to make sentences. So I would ask the same person to make a sentence using we, and to make a sentence using the word they. And then I would also ask them to provide their name, age, gender, and current city. And it's very simple. In total, I collected 50 people. And so there are 100 sentences in total. Can anyone read it?
I read it only. We are truly or we are only?
Yeah, we are trying to make a conversation. They seem to be nice and helpful. And we are all having a good time. They are all on their way to somewhere. We are having fun. They have no idea. Having worked together for a number of years, we have remained friends, and occasionally we meet and spend an afternoon in central London. They, who can they be? A crowd of people strolling along Trafalgar Square. Could they be tourists or just friends? Who knows? And I feel that this work kind of sums up my practice in the last 2 years because there are some features of it. For example, first of all, there's a very strict conception and very clean execution. So it's actually really a simple work, and the execution is quite clean. And there is the element of participation from the public. And also there is the collective language used in this work. Because I believe that the collective language used could reveal something about our social mechanisms at large, or our cognitive models individually. And also the minimalistic documentation, or almost clinical documentation of the project, is quite corresponding to my aesthetic treatment. So does it sound a bit scary? And yeah, that's the final outcome. In the installation view, I just put them into slideshows. And I wanted to put it in a carousel slide projector, but it didn't work out. So that's something about my practice. Now about me, I was born in Taiwan, 1989. I'm almost 30 years old. I expect you to say, oh, you don't look like that. And now I live and work in London, Berlin, and Taipei at the same time. About my practice, this is what I put on my website. So I'm an emergent artist, which means that I just graduated not long ago, and I work primarily in video installation, performance, and other post-studio practices. And this is extremely important because it sounds quite confusing with all these names.
What does it mean for studio?
Yes, my parents never get it. So
I tell me that I'm old.
No, no, not at all. But it's just very confusing. It sounds very pretentious, but it is actually not. So actually, my parents always tell their friends, she's an artist, and their friends would ask, is she painting? Is she a painter? Is she a sculptor? And they would say, not really. She's doing some fine art, something that's not painting, not sculpture, and something related to post-studio thing. We don't know about it. And my dad would just say, it's nothing that occurs to you now. And I will explain it like by examples. So first of all, I want to talk about videos. Videos as a medium is actually the starting point of my artistic practice. I was doing a lot of videos at the start of my study, and I was doing something very impressionistic, something about color and very romantic, very different from my current practice. And then now I have a more conceptual approach, and with the conceptual approach, video can be a very good tool or a medium to carry the idea. So here's an example. So we don't have to finish the whole video, Can anyone read the sentences, or is it really hard to read?
Father and I have always wanted to tell you.
So the idea is also very simple. I use the same footage of video, but I dubbed it with different narratives. So there are real translation of the story, but there are some narratives that I made up. And this is Taiwanese, so not many people speak Taiwanese, not even Chinese people would understand it. So you can solely rely on the subtitle to get to know the story. And I really enjoy that when people come to the exhibition and they are really keen to know which one is the real one. And so people would spend really a lot of time to finish all the story and come to ask me which one is the real one. If you're interested, you can go to the website and figure out which one is real and send me an email. I will let you know. So this is a video piece, and I use it to, the conception is simple. I just want to highlight mediation in our communication at large. And I also like it in a very simple form. So that's what I do with video. And also with installation, in my degree show, I built a shop called USB capsule dispenser. And if you are an audience coming to the show, you can purchase a USB memory stick for £1. And the USB stick is sent by someone else all over the globe. So you can see that that's the capsule dispenser. And before the show started, I asked people all over the world to post me the physical USB stick with content that they would like to share with strangers. So this is what I received from Berlin. And that's in the show when people are trying to get the USB. And what you get would be a small capsule containing product information, so you would know the send out location. The link provided. And if you are the sender, you can go onto the website and click on your own USB stick to see if anyone replies. So if you click, suppose you were the sender of this USB stick, and then you can click on it and then know people's response to it. So that's what I do with installation in the form of a very candy-like shop. And then performance and other post-studio practices. I know this sounds quite pretending. So I'm not trying to show off with all the terms. It's actually something that's quite hard to define, so I kind of summarize it with some features. So with my work, my current practice is very often process-based. So it's usually the process that's the work. And the exhibition or the installation or the video is very often the documentation of this process. And I need this documentation because whenever there is a need for a show or whenever I want to let people know about the work, I need a materialization of this process. But basically the process itself is the work. And it's often interpersonal. For example, the one with USB capsule dispenser, what I'm interested in is that I leave such a freedom for every sender. What would they put into the USB stick? And if they can be anonymous, would they put malicious things? Or it turned out that most people want to share a lot of things, more than people would expect it. And also, often my work are not object-oriented. It's related to the process-based practice. So unlike painting or sculpture or installation, I'm not aiming to produce an object in a space. I'm more like, I want to create a process where I can interact with the people and to see how people react to the framework I create. So here comes something very important. This is what I'm going to do here in Lisbon. And since this project is hard to categorize into video installation or any other form, so it's categorized in performance and other post-studio practices. So what I'm going to do with this project is that I would invent a new word in Portuguese. It's an ambitious task, I know, I'm panicking. I'm trying to learn Portuguese 3 hours every day. And I want to recruit 100 people. So if anyone here would like to sign up for that, I would be very grateful for that. And then every participant that agreed to take part in the project has to use this word that I invented once per day, at least once a day, and for the time period of 30 days, which means that this word would be used for 3,000 times in the Portuguese-speaking community in Lisbon. And I want to see how it would work out, because for me, a word, the more people who use this word, the more. So this is the project now, and the only rule for the participant is that they cannot reveal that this word is invented by a foreigner. So if the participant used the word with another Portuguese speaker and another person asks, "Oh, what's this word? I have never heard of it," the person has to explain what it means according to my definition, or show the fake Wikipedia link that I create. So to sum up my art practice, there are some more things, but I think the whole presentation kind of sums up what I'm doing. So in order to experience more about my practice, you can sign up for the project. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I don't know if you have any questions to ask. I personally have one. When you receive the information, like every project, it's about an individual saying something or doing something. Are you put in the position of the censor to do some censorship, or do you take it as ready-made and you don't touch it at all?
So for the project V&A, I actually project because it was in school. So for any R18 content, I would use a red label to say be careful.
So you checked it?
Yes, I check it, but I would not filter it, or I would not modify it at all. I would just put a label saying that the content might be disturbing and be careful. Be careful about that.
Sorry, would you not have any limits on that? Like, let's say like there was like illegal material, like that really is like extremely taboo. Would that not be like filtered out at all, or would you stick to not filtering things?
I think I would try my best to stick not filtering things. I would just try to put on the label saying that, oh, it's not my responsibility.
Yeah.
But I feel that if I filter things, it's kind of against the logic or the methodology that I work with.
What if it was a computer virus?
Oh yeah, I was also concerned about it. So I actually put, I sacrificed my laptop. So if you see this, I put a laptop of mine.
Oh, so they can check it.
Yeah, so they can, if they are not comfortable using their own devices, they can check the content at the spot before bringing the USB stick home. So So yeah, I sacrificed my laptop.
Did you get the virus?
No, it got stolen.
Okay.
It was unintentional.
For art, you do that and more, I will say.
Luckily, it was an old laptop.
Okay, so.
And I think the most unforgettable one is a very morbid one. So the USB stick, the title of the USB stick is changed, and the title is what we are striving for, and there is no content in that USB stick. So it's like, I don't know, when I check it, it's quite horrible, and I don't think it's weird.
Yeah. Well, I meant like striking. Oh yeah, cool. Thanks.
I've got one question. How did you recruit people to send the USB sticks? Because you got quite a lot of them. I wondered.
Yeah, there are in total 73 of them. Do you want to hear the honest answer?
Oh, did you ask friends?
So I forced every friend in Taiwan to send me one. And every friend and I also put paper advertisements around the campus and on the street too. I also got some USB sticks from strangers, but usually it's a lot of work because you need to have a physical USB stick, which not many people have nowadays, and then you have to put in the content and you have to post it internationally. It's I believe there are still a lot of people that would like to do that, but next time if I'm going to do this project again, I might use a longer period of time for recruiting the USB sticks, and maybe I would use some website like Couchsurfing or exchange postcards, things like that.
Maybe you can find also a way to get your network store.
Maybe, or I would force every Portuguese friend that to send me one. So be aware if you become friends with me here.
And you just sell them all?
You mean send them all?
No, if you sold them all.
Oh yeah, it was sold out in an hour.
Okay. Yeah, I was one for it.
I think it's easier to buy one rather than sending one. And I would actually like to make it a bit more expensive, like £5, but it's hard to kind of adjust that machine for that.
Debit card.
Yeah, and they have good time for coins. So any more questions? Or any sign-ups? The last page. Oh, it takes so much time to go to the last page. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any questions.
Just a reminder that this world that you're working on.
So what does it cost?
Oh, it means that I don't need a physical studio.
Okay.
So it's like, it's now more people are not really using the physical studio space because the practice is not that object oriented. So you also store information in the laptop, and a lot of artists are working with the laptop only. So that's like a post studio.
Okay. I read it before, so I was just curious about it.
Do you think that's a good joke? It's fun.